head, all the above. You know, success is way harder to handle than defeat, than adversity. You know, because human nature steps in. Now, all these 2-0 teams.
Chuck Pagano's going down the list of how the light affects all these games in blatant, obvious, humanly impossible ways and fillets. He started with the Seattle game, you know, the Seahawks. They were up 15 points, easy like a game of Parcheesi, until the love that brought in the one and only way down here with humanly impossible ways and fillets in our modern day. More than obviously using divine intervention, we don't fail to mention. So, all of a sudden, 15 up, and then all of a sudden it's tied, and then Tennessee wins in overtime, and then Pete Carroll said something like, hey, Russ, what happened? I must. Why do you bust? Why do you bust ever since last year when you were playing at the MVP, like the first game this year? And then all of a sudden the light got involved, and then you sucked. And then all the God Almighty haters, the people who pretend a man named Jesus cartoon is the one and only God Almighty. And then what happens? Then they go from great without debate to their fate. Suck. If they've been lying about the love, the light, the love, the bright, and the one only way here in our modern day. And so that's why at the end of the year last year, the light used humanly impossible patience and waited to the very end. Look I didn't know Tom Brady was number one. Gee, lover, I thought so because I used to say to the light, if Aaron's number one, then how come you made Tom Brady younger and you didn't make what's his name younger yet? The Green Bay quarterback. So, I say this to the light. And, I was waiting for the light to, and a couple times you could see the light made Aaron Rodgers younger, and then, but the next week he was, his age again. But anyway, so then when Aaron got beat by Tom, and, it's not normal, play. He didn't play like he did in all the great games. The 3 bad games, 3 were going to be free. It was 2 in the season when they totally sucked. Then, against Tom Brady, like when they were on that 8-yard line or whatever it was, Aaron would have scored if the light wasn't using divine intervention, obviously. And so it wasn't until now when I see that he goes on the Pat McAfee show every Tuesday, and then McAfee made it obvious to me when they started talking about a cartoon Jesus is God. Hilarious, that cowman over there with that big giant cowboy hat, talking like, acting like an idiot. Like, who the fuck would who do they think they're fooling? Even themselves. A no-moral cartoon man God fraud named Jesus. And they're all about a sport with the majority is dark tan players. And the most disgusting thing in the history of religion is, besides all the American Indians being desecrated off the planet, in the name of a man named Jesus, is all those beautiful Africans sold in the name of Allah and Muhammad and bought in the name of a man, God fraud cartoon named Jesus. So this is the story. And so that's why I'm fascinated and interested in that NFL, because it's so fun to watch what the light is doing, to the God Almighty haters in the NFL, and then the God Almighty lovers, they don't get hurt. Red shirt. And so it's going to be interesting to see, but the light has humanly impossible patience. So I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is fucked up. In other words, maybe he has a written contract and he can't get out of it. So that's why he's doing that show. But if the truth is he ignored the light, he told him you better quit that show or you're going to get fucked up and redshirted and you're not going to be like you were last year. So right now, what is it? And then maybe Dak Dak might have gave in to the light when the light called him Dak with the D-A-K-K-K and humiliated the fuck out of him. Maybe that's what woke up his heart. And maybe his brother who went to heaven, well, maybe he was a gigantic G-lover and had no fear of going to heaven because he wanted to do that to let everybody know his unbelievable faith, even though you're not supposed to do that. Normally in lifetimes you fail if you kill yourself because you got to deal with what you dealt. In other words, you dealt yourself by not passing lifetime tests and being mean. So maybe Dak became a huge, outspoken G-lover, like gigantic, like even more than Tom Brady and his team, and told them, look, motherfuckers, you know, you gotta love the light down here and take a gigantic interest in them and be excited that the light came down here for all of us, etc. I don't know what he said, but I think he might have did, because all of a sudden everyone didn't have man Godfrey crosses around their necks or for more than any neglected total disrespect or dangling from their ears, because we're about to hear that the Black Bolus is over for us. And so the only one I see on the team is and who obviously is going to get fucked up like big time is the guy they took #1, Parsons, P-A-R-S-S, double gigantic SS's for the SS, because people who hate God's guts for coming here with blatant scientific evidence, you all get it that they're obviously the most evil, disgusting, prejudiced humans in the history of the world. As the light says, to hate humans like the KKK and the SS is one thing, but to hate God's motherfucking guts for coming here with blatant, obvious scientific evidence. So we all know the greatest news ever, like what those two comedians from the UK were talking about a year ago, but I just saw it yesterday on that talk show, you know, Russell Brand and sorry, I forget the other guy's name, but he has shows, and you know, they do it in a funny way, like a reverse teasing, like they go, man, if God came here with scientific evidence, it would be the greatest news ever, but obviously that's not going on, so, you know, we don't know anything if there's a God, so we don't, you know, so I'm an atheist, because, I don't think there's really a God, you know, but obviously that comedian, he has like 4 or 5 shows or movies or something that I started watching The Afterlife, and it's just hilarious, clever teasing about the way the light does with parody. You know what parody is? When you make fun of something through comedy. So he's making fun of that there is an afterlife. Now we all know, and it's the greatest news ever, and there's no such thing as death, and there's really rules. In other words, in there, he's going, hey, you can fucking shit on people, you can be mean to people, you can do whatever you want, because there's no God, and there's no, you know, all the God frauds, if those are real, they forgive being despicable and prejudiced and mean, and desecrating the American Indians and forcing people to be slaves and killing all the American Indian buffalo and all that. So he's making fun of it through comedy. In other words, he's not fucking stupid, and him and Russell aren't going, you know, they're not allowed to say the truth. So I'm sure crass ass liars will watch that and go, oh, they're not saying what Peter's saying, that they're all excited about God down here with blatant scientific evidence. But listen to what they're saying. There's no such thing as God. And so, anyway, no one fools me. Obviously, Russell and the Sea Talks got teased the fuck out of by the light. And so this is how nice the light is, Aaron. You have till next week to quit that show, and if you don't have a contract with that show, dated way back when. In other words, don't come up with a new one and say, hey, look, I have a contract, so you could do the show. And anyways, if you do that, the light knows. In other words, I don't know what's going on, but the light does. So, like, no matter what you guys pretend to do, and you can pretend and not wear your Jesus Godfrey cross around your neck or dangling from your ear, but obviously, like, Tua, how's Jeezy doing for Tua after game 2? And Wentz, 2 broken ankles, as so many of the beautiful, not Rudy too beautiful G-lovers tease, like Miley Smiley, you know, Macho, who who works with Acho. He pretends a man named Jesus is the one and only God Almighty. But I obviously, when Miley Smiley goes, hey, I wonder what Wenty did in his past lifetime to get two broken ankles in a humanly impossible way in filet. It's hilarious. Who gets two broken ankles instantly? Instant soup, instant poop, instant coop. Oh, and that fucking commercial, that guy who talks about poop. I have to run to the computer. Like, these commercials where people are talking about shit and can't they come up with those underwear commercials and that lawnmower commercial? Like, it's fucking disgusting to me. Anyway, but that's another story. So anyways, it's hilarious. This time we're living about with God in heaven and human beings going to war with God when they see God putting real-time cancers under people's eyes and turning them on and off like a light switch. How huge of an ego does someone have, like the cross-ass signing Sims and the Genslers and Justin Bieber and Bieber's wife, to have the audacity to go to war with, they see God putting real-time cancers under people's eyes, but they're benign. And you obviously know when the light does that to your insides, then you're done. And so all those different things that people get, the different symptoms from the Corona G Victory virus, it's all from the light. And then when people get the injection to not get the virus, and then those people who get things wrong with it, like, what's her name? That rapper who I wrote that show for, Super Rapper or something, Super Girl Rapper, I forgot the name of the show, and I forgot the rapper's name. You know, she was the best girl rapper until that other one came along. She's pretty good too. Minaj, and her cousin or something can't have sex anymore or something. But that's not from the injections, that's from the light, because go study that person and you'll find out they hate God's motherfucking guts down here for 15 years. And so the light does that to them. It's just another symptom of the love, the light, the love, the bright, and the one only way. Putting those black scars, those black bags on their insides, full of snide and pride. And so now we all know how God looks like. So humanly impossible, and fun, and stun, and puns, and home runs. And so that's 12 minutes and 48 seconds of my opinion. Me, sweeter pin, sweeter palapin, opinion, palapin.